Aww. Yay!
For the focus of this video, I'm going to be talking about the state machine that I made for this assignment. I made a generic and abstract class that takes in an enum as a template key, where the enum is simply just an enum that's created within the inheriting class that uses any states that need be. For this assignment, it was, of course, idle, patrol, and chase. And it also contains a state transition class, or struct, sorry, which holds a reference to the next state as well as the requirement to make the transition. Among other things, there's a priority, a wait duration for the check type, which depends on if it's in a periodic duration or if it should be checked every frame. That's very useful for the field of view for the guard. This is just the constructor. It takes in the next state and any function that returns a bool with no parameters, of course. I have 3 dictionaries, one for each, I guess, type of transition, so update and periodic, and then just a full broad transition dictionary that holds every possible transition. There's, of course, a reference for the current state and if the state machine is currently transitioning, and just some getters and easier method to add a transition state. I've used the Unity start function and turned it into an enumerator because I want it to always run. It's just kind of a shorthand of running a while loop coroutine. And at the start of it, I just create the periodic and update dictionaries depending on what their check types are. And then indefinitely, while the game object is currently in the scene, it will loop through each state transition that the current state can make and orders it by the priority assigned on creation. And then it will check the transition, and if the transition is true, then we will be transitioning the state in the handle transition method. This is entirely abstract and is implemented by the end user. And then it returns for the wait duration assigned by the same transition. Finally, there is the update, which is simply almost identical in terms of functionality. Instead, it just runs every frame and doesn't wait for a duration instead. Just as an example for the implementation of the state machine, in the update, as we're looping through, each state needs its own functionality, and that would be handled either here or in the handle transition if they don't need to be assigned every frame. Of course, the idle, the guard would just do nothing. He just kind of stands around and looks. And the patrol, chase, and searching, they're all moving to the target, which is set either from a patrol point or when the target enters the field of view. For the guard's field of view, I will definitely say I got extremely off track with priorities, and I ended up creating a mesh constructor just to make a sort of 2D cone shape for the guard's field of view, which I think looks pretty cool, but my time could have been used more wisely, probably. It also just has a method for checking if a target exists. It simply just loops through all of the vertices on the mesh and raycasts from the starting point to that curve at the end of it, and returns if it hits a target within the target layer or not.